Thank you for joining us today, and we are very excited to introduce you our featured author, Dana Johnson. She is part of the book Voices of the 21st Century: Women Who Influence, Inspire, and Make a Difference. This book really serves as an opportunity for women from around the world to come together to share their story, their truth, to be vulnerable. And we know that this can take great courage to do so. So it is why we as women, as more women step up to share their stories, that we come together and we support and we listen. And that's how we make that difference. So I'd love to take this time now to welcome to our show, Dana. Welcome.
Great, thank you. Hi.
Hi. So I love your story that you share in this book. It's strong, definitely challenges the status quo out there, shaking things up. And why don't you give our listeners a little bit more insight and share, what was it that motivated you to share your story?
Thank you for having me. I think the number one motivator that I struggled with was going through all the issues that I had in a male-dominated industry, in every level from just going into entry level as an admin and working my way up through the ranks, and seeing that you don't get the same attention, the same pay, the same options, the same promotion options. You don't get treated the same, and that was on every company that I was with, that was on every project that I was with, that happened every single time to me. And even when I talk to other women in the industry who say, gosh, really, that's never happened to me. If you even out the playing field a little bit, with me being the high that it's happened every time and them being the low, you're still hitting an option where one person has experienced this in this industry. And my industry in particular is in construction. And so I noticed that I didn't have anybody that I could talk to. I had no place where I could ask questions or have a mentor and, try to get someone to tell me, well, what do I do in this situation? Or what do I say, helpful hints and things. And that made me, it was very difficult on me. And it almost broke me a few times where I wanted to just get out of the industry in a whole. It was really, really hard times. So I want to be able to be there for people and to be able to know, hey, you're not alone. I'm here to empower you. Every other woman need to get together. You don't know what people are going through and their struggles. And we just really need to empower everybody and each other and try to help them and don't make it worse. It's already hard.
That's awesome. And I can relate to that in my past life, having worked, and many women in today's in today's world, we have come from male-dominated industry, because that was just the fact. More men were out there working than women, right? So I love, but it does bring its own as we transition, and that's what I love about you, is you're really a trailblazer out there, helping to clear the path more for women as we start to move into more what was traditionally more male-dominated industry. And construction, wow, you can't get that's right. Pretty strong. So tell me, what are some of the things? I mean, you talked about promotions and things like that. Those are more of those tangible items that we would find in those type industries. But as a woman sitting in that industry and looking to create change, and you are, what does that stir up for you in more of an intimate level?
I know that, being passed over for promotions and such, it's more than that. It was, being a female entering into the good old boys club, which is very, very typical in construction, and not being part of that, not only on a day-to-day basis, but for weekly events or nicknames or things like that. I mean, it could be the littlest thing, but those little things pile up. And I think that's where I want people to know that it's okay, you're not alone. And even if you don't have somebody you can talk to necessarily, but just know that you're not alone, that other people, unfortunately, are going through the same things, and that hopefully I can start spreading the word and being, like you said, a trailblazer, so to speak, and it starting in my area, just trying to really get out there as a leader and not necessarily be labeled as, as a feminist or anything like that, but just someone that wants to be a very strong presence in this industry, primarily in my area.
Right. So someone reading your story, what would you hope that they would gain from it? Like, what is their takeaway from it?
The takeaway from it, I'm hoping, is not of someone saying, oh, I don't want to get into construction because this is how it is. I tried really hard to kind of balance it out and show that, yes, these were my struggles, and but they're definitely worth the struggles that I went through. And I mean, I'm attest to that now today because I went through it all and persevered, and now I'm talking with you, and I'm part of this great book. So, I mean, I want people to be able to maybe be a little bit more compassionate and be able to understand that you're not alone, that these things do happen. And also for the male readers to understand these things do happen, whether you get it or not, or you see it or you understand it, even if you're not the one doing it. But if it just try to understand and try to be aware and cognizant that these are issues.
Right. So you chose this time now to be a voice of the 21st century woman. And I'm really happy and honored that you chose to be part of this book, because you are truly having that impact and making that big, big difference. And what I would love to know is, how is it in your life personally? How has it impacted your life? I mean, are you doing some other work around this, or?
I am actually. I've got a couple of things that I've been working on, and this book just absolutely was perfect timing. Being able to open up a satellite construction office in my hometown of Portland and be able to use, that to the advantage. And also, that there's not that many females in this role that I'm in. And it's absolutely perfect timing. And I'm a little bit more in a higher level power position. And so people are actually going to listen, and they're actually, listening to the things that I talk about now in the articles that I write on a weekly basis. And, being able to have those followers, that even if they just push like on an article, at least I know that, they actually read my article, and that it's just perfect timing to have all of it come together.
I love that. It takes when we talk about it takes courage to be vulnerable, to share our truth. I mean, you really are a demonstration of that. And you've done an excellent job at doing this. I mean, to stand up in such a strong industry, to open, first of all, to express how you're feeling. But not only that, but to really get out there and pave the way for, our next generations of women, the ones that are right beside you, even,
right,
to enhance their day-to-day workings and their contributions. So I love that. It's a good on you.
Thank you. I'm trying to do the best I can to spread the word, bring awareness, bring support, bring empowerment, all of the things that women are supposed to provide one another, that tends to get lost and forgotten many, many times.
See, it's just you are a perfect example of just sharing the simplicity of this story, something that is happening. It's so common, and just by sharing it, you're helping other people. You're both enlightening both women and men one word you've consistently used is awareness.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Awareness. Love it. Dana, thank you. Thank you for being a guest today and for sharing your words. And before we sign off, I mean, there's got to be that woman out there right now sitting there listening going, oh my goodness, that's me. I'm sitting in that place. What are your words of wisdom to her?
You are not alone. Reach out to others and just don't give up. Just keep going and be heard. Be heard loudly.
Be heard loudly. Love it. Love it. Wow. Excellent. So thank you so much again.
Thank you very
really,
much.
thanks for sharing your story in this book, because it is a game changer for sure. And I love that it challenges status quo out there. You're a mover and a shaker, girl. So to our listeners, I'd really also like to thank you for joining us today and invite you to join us again next week and hear and learn from more amazing women sharing their voice. And remember, to you listening, your message matters too. And you can hear, just as Dana shared, you make a difference. So to the world, you may be one person, but to one person, you may be the world. So thank you for joining.
Thank you.